Hello again. My name is Greg Hintermeister, and I work in the Cloud Engagement Hub at IBM. And this is session 3 of your journey to a distributed cloud. Now, as we said in the first couple sessions, there's really 3 main outcomes that our clients are trying to achieve in this hybrid multi-cloud environment. The first one is I want to build and deliver and manage applications across this distributed cloud. The second one is they tell us, I want to bring the best of cloud wherever the applications need to run, whether it's on premises or AWS or IBM Cloud or wherever it might be. But I want to maintain this as a service experience. I want to focus on innovation. I don't want to focus on managing a platform. And the third one is I want a common control plane to manage my apps and my platform and security across that distributed cloud. And so today's third session is going to be all about observability. How I can look at the applications running across that distributed cloud, how I can look at the platform across it, how I can do auditing. So I know that the humans that are involved are doing the actions and what they're doing. So let's take a look at this. To illustrate, this is sort of a mock-up of the environment I'm going to be showing you. We have IBM Cloud, and IBM Cloud Satellite, managing a number of different Cloud Satellite locations with clusters inside of them. And there's also OpenShift clusters running elsewhere that were not provisioned through Cloud Satellite, but Cloud Satellite is aware of them, and thus we can pull logging and monitoring information into there. And then we're going to be pulling all that information into LogDNA for logging, into Sysdig for monitoring, and into Activity Tracker for that auditing information. So right here I'm in my Cloud Satellite. As you've already seen before, I've got my locations. I've got all my clusters running, whether they're provisioned through Cloud Satellite or just attached to them. And as we saw last time, we have all of our configurations where I deployed the applications themselves. So now I'm going to open Observability. And our first thing we're going to look at is logging. And so this instance on the bottom here pulls in logging from across all of the clusters and across the applications within those clusters. So you'll see there's a lot of logs being collected. You can see quickly I've got some favorites I'll show in a second, but I could also, ad hoc, I can filter, show me all my AWS clusters or the logs from them. I can hit apply and it would filter across them. So now I've only got 43 million to look at. Or I could view, based on application or whatever it might be. In this case, I'm going to show my custom tools. So I've got a view I've saved to say, just show me the instances of the custom tools I've deployed across the whole estate. And if you recall last time, I deployed custom tools 4 and then upgraded to custom tools 5. And you'll see right in the logs here, let me load up a bit, that I'm showing it right here. So I've got custom tools 4 I can open up and I can see which cluster it deployed into. But I could also then take it further and say, well, I know I deployed it into my AWS account, so let me just subset that list. And I can now quickly get into the specifics of that application. And so, boy, just in 20 seconds, I went from millions of logs down to 25 to see what I really wanted. Now, let's go back to everything. And I am going to pick another one to say, let me see all of the interaction between trader, portfolio, broker, and account. And these are some of the microservices in that stock trader application I previously deployed. So I can see this summary, but I can also then further view by just saying, well, just show me it based on my AWS cluster. And now I'm getting into some real specifics down to the details. I can just open up, see what's going on. It's on my AWS account. and what node it's on. So I can, as a developer, I could really hone in on the application content, the application logs, and as a DevOps engineer or SRE or whatever role you play, you can really hone in quickly on the alerts and the logs you really want to focus on. Now I'm going to go into monitoring and open up Sysdig and move it over one. Okay, so now I'm going to go, now I'm going to go to my overview and view all of my clusters. And so you'll see this is also a collection of the clusters that I've got managing. Here's my AWS cluster that we've been using quite a bit, my DevOps cluster, some of the other Cloud Satellite clusters, and OpenShift clusters that were provisioned outside the scope of IBM Cloud Satellite. But in this case, I also want to look at the individual workloads. So if I'm in my AWS cluster, I'm going to go to my stock trader namespace and go look at the last demo if you want, because it shows here's how I deployed that whole microservices based app through Cloud Satellite, and yet now I can centrally manage it just like I'm centrally managing any other application in my purview in the environments that are span this distributed cloud. In fact, I could also then I can go in and look at the events that are going on. But I could also look into my default namespace and see the custom tools 4 and 5. And so if you recall, I had deployed custom tools 4, and then there's some history in here that I can still view information about because this is all collecting over a period of time. But I can also then look at the upgraded tools that I had then upgraded using satellite config, so I can see that as well. So it's really a nice way to customize what I want to look at. It just shows a nice way to centrally monitor that whole distributed cloud. So then the third piece is Activity Tracker. So now I've got a 30-day event version of Activity Tracker. Move that to my third one here. And here's all of the activity going on across my IBM Cloud environment, including those Cloud Satellite locations that are running in different locations. In fact, I've got a view that says I want to see who's been creating and deleting clusters over the past 30 days. And it has quite a bit of activity going on. I could zoom into, blow this up a bit. I'm zooming into a previous environment, or a previous timeline. I can see who's been doing activity on March 3rd. Looks like this guy named Greg H, which is me. But I can select him, select the user ID, and hit a plus, and then get a view of only the activity between this time period for Greg H. Now, if I want to see overall in time, I could say, no, what clusters has he created or deleted across the last 30 days? Now, I could also select the email, and I could go back to everything. And I could just do an ad hoc. So if I have so I'm going to type in the email, and I'm going to be quickly then understanding what's the activity he's done across time. So that's really it. I've got a mix of auditing with my log DNA. I've got a very detailed, robust monitoring capability with Sysdig, and then I've got the end-to-end logging that tracks everything across the whole distributed cloud with LogDNA, and that's it. So again, we were able to show the satellite locations, the clusters, and then show how we're using all of the observability built into IBM Cloud, even though we're reaching out into a distributed cloud across a variety of environments. So, okay, so that's it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Goodbye.